Russel Pillemer joins me now from Pengana Capital. Great to meet you, Russel.
Thank you for having me.
So first off, can you please introduce us to Pengana Capital and, of course, the ecosystem that you operate within? What's this concept of benchmark, unaware, actively managed equities that you're so involved with?
So Pengana Capital is a funds management business. We manage money on behalf of retail and high net worth investors. And our core competency is in managing money in what we call benchmark unaware spaces. So when you're benchmark unaware, you're trying to beat the benchmark or the index. At Pengana, we don't worry about trying to beat the market. We worry about trying to generate good long-term returns for our investors, and we do that with a focus on capital preservation as well.
Big focus on your investors, but also on your employees. This is a nice concept, a nice idea. Your employees own about 34% of the company. What do you think is the effect of this?
Well, we think that is really important in any business, but especially in a funds management business, to have a great culture. And one of the ways you get a great culture is by your employees being shareholders in the business as well. We, in fact, prior to us listing through a reverse takeover of the Hunter Hall business just over a year ago, we actually gave 10% of the company to the employees. And that was actually the best day I've ever had in the office.
I'm sure it was. Can you tell me, are you international, domestically focused? What are those markets looking like?
Yeah, so Pengana is quite unique in that we operate across all different types of markets. So we're in international equities, we're in Australian equities, we're in small caps, we're in large caps, multi-caps, etc. I say we're quite different to other fund managers in what you usually find with high value fund managers. They focus on a particular segment like international equities. At Pengana, we've managed to design our business so we can operate across spaces, and we do that by partnering with expert teams in each of these individual spaces, like international, like Australia, etc.
So can you tell me how this is all translating into your financials? What are those big growth drivers for Pengana?
Yeah, so the big growth drivers are for Pengana is growth in funds under management, and we grow our funds under management via two ways. Firstly, by taking money into existing funds, and secondly, by opening up new funds and taking money into them. At Pengana, we are very fixated on what we call capacity management. So in funds management, if you have too much money, it's to the detriment of your returns. Too much money, difficult to manage. At Pengana, we're happy to stop raising money when we get to certain levels where we feel that if we were to raise more, that it would be a negative for investors. And the way we continue to grow the Pengana business thereafter is to open up new strategies with new teams in different spaces. So we've got a combination of those two areas.
And Russell, looking at a bit of the wider ecosystem, can you tell me where Pengana sits? How do you plan to keep beating all the world indices that you are consistently beating? What are these trends that you see in the space, the opportunities to take advantage of?
Well, thank you for asking the question. The most important thing in our business is returns to our investors. And the thing we are most proud of is how we have generated long-term returns for our investors above benchmarks for many over the long periods of time. As I said, we're not trying to beat the benchmarks, but it's actually an outcome of our investment processes that we do land up beating the benchmarks. We can continue to do that by continuing to have great funds management teams who are managing our funds, and also by managing our capacity at the right levels. Keep our culture good, and our business hopefully will continue to flourish.
And finally, Russell, moving forwards, what are the next things for Pengana? What should your investors be paying attention to?
Look, our business is not one whereby you need to worry about the next great thing, because the business is already set up for growth. We have lots of investors. We have over 50,000 underlying investors in the business. They continue to allocate money to us through their superannuation funds. We have financial advisors in the marketplace who continue to support us. Our funds continue to get added to model portfolios and onto new platforms. So we can sit back and wait. As long as we continue to generate the right levels of returns, we can continue to gather funds under management from our clients. We can have some supercharged growth, by issuing new products or even through acquisitions. But we don't necessarily need that in order to create a great future growth profile.
Well, Russell, sounds all very promising. We're very glad you took the time to speak to us about Pengana today. All the best. Enjoy the rest of the conference.
Thank you for having me.